Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big Nick Energy YouTube channel. Mill here with another post-game show. This one was a win. The Knicks won against the Sacramento Kings 98-91. This was a really fun, exciting game. I know it's super late. It's actually near 1 a.m. In New York City right now. So for those of you fans that are up and watching, kudos to you. Big props to Knicks fans that stayed up to watch this one. I know it's a late game. I mean, West Coast trips, West Coast games are always tough, but it's Saturday. It was a Saturday night when this game first started. Now it's Sunday, so I'm sure a lot of us got to catch this one, and if you did, you're glad because this was history done tonight. I mean, Brunson had another 40-point game, and he actually became one of the four Knicks now to have uh, for multiple 40-point games, and the last Knick to do it was Carmelo Anthony. I mean, history being made with him and his 40-point games. I mean, I didn't even expect him to go out and be able to produce what he did. With the trail on the versus the Trailblazers, a 45-point game, and then coming out here and doing it again. I didn't think he could replicate that literally one game after, but he did. He had the momentum, started off the game really good, and going into halftime shooting really well, and ended the game off really good as well. So great game by Brunson. We're gonna get more into it. I mean, I can't emphasize enough that Brunson is a star. He he really deserves everything he's getting right now. He's worked hard for it, and I'm really glad it's showing. And even with only shooting 4 free throws, he still had 42 points. I mean, that is if that doesn't show you that he is an elite shooter and that he is a star, I don't know what else will show you that, because 42 points, usually you expect that player to have at least 10 free throws, but no, he had 4 he attempted 4, he only made 3. So that's just insane to think about. You hear about all these big games from these superstars, and usually half of the points they get are from free throws. That was not the case tonight for Brunson. He was shooting tremendously, really, really well, and he was just feeling it all night. From the three-point line, from the field, he had 5 three-pointers. He was 17 for 28 from the field. So yeah, really good percentages right there. Let's check out some comments over here. Nick's Realist said, great win. It was a great win. It was so close the entire game. I didn't know which way this game was going to go, honestly, because of how close it was. I believe they mentioned there was at least 13 tied scores in the game, and a lot of lead changes going back and forth. The Knicks would take the lead. The Kings would take the lead. It was really going back and forth, but ultimately very close as well. Dope Vegan said this was a guy check game. Physical, physical, physical. Yeah, 100%. It was super physical, and I'm just a little I'm disappointed that the Knicks didn't get more calls. They definitely should have gotten more calls. The refs, I have no idea what they were on tonight. I saw multiple Knicks got hit, multiple Knicks fall down tonight, and they didn't get any calls. I mean, if our star player Jalen Brunson is only attempting four free throws a game, that's a problem right there. And it wasn't just Brunson I saw getting hit; it was other guys too. And it's crazy to me the free throw disparity between both teams tonight. But it was physical, like you said. Both teams were really in it. Very physical. James said, "What's up, early morning people?" Yeah, it's pretty late right now. It's almost 1 a.m. So, like I was saying before, respect to all the people that stayed up to watch this game and that are staying up to watch this post game show. I'll keep it short for everyone. You know, we got to get to sleep. We got to go to bed soon. Hit him up, said Jalen Brunson. That's all you need to say. Jalen Brunson. Straight up. And Dope Vegan said the best merch in the game, Big Nick Energy for sure. If you guys haven't checked out the merch shop, go ahead and check it out, bignickenergy.com. One of the best, if not the best, Knick merch for especially just made by fans, straight up made by fans. Like, this isn't anyone in the Knicks organization making this. This is by the fans. Knicks really said facts. He's not a free throw merchant like Trae Young. Yeah, he only shot 4 tonight, made 3. It was insane. I mean, at one point when he hit 33, he had only one made free throw. So I knew this was going to be a really good shooting night for him. As soon as he started the game off hot. JC said, "Is OG hurt?" I don't believe he is. I did not see him get hurt tonight. I know there was a few stumbles, a few falls. Anyone correct me if I'm wrong. I did, turn off the game with like about 2 minutes left, but no, not 2 minutes left, like about the last minute when we knew we were gonna win. And I don't believe OG is hurt. He was just, he's just, if you're talking about his shooting struggles, I think that's part of him getting back into his routine, back into his conditioning. And I think with his sore elbow, like he had surgery on his elbow, so with his shooting, I think it's going to take some time for him to get back into his rhythm. And I wouldn't be too concerned seeing him struggle from the 3-point line or just his shooting in general. It's going to take time. It was an elbow injury, so that's a huge part of his shooting form. Let's see. Realist said Hartenstein looked fully healthy tonight. He did. He played really well tonight. I know it was a super tough matchup for him. All the big men tonight tried to compete against Sabonis, tried to out rebound him, contain him, it's super tough to do that against him because he's literally a triple double machine. He did get a triple double tonight as well. Sabonis did, but still, Hartenstein played great. Overall, he had 7 points, 4 blocks. That's crazy. 1 steal, 3 assists, 14 rebounds. And, out of those 14 rebounds, 4 were offensive. So he played a really good game tonight. I'm loving the defensive presence I saw from him tonight with the 4 blocks and the 1 steal. I really thought the Knicks defense was pretty good. I know that in that first half, mainly, I would say either the late first quarter or the beginning of the second quarter, it was hard to contain Sabonis. He started heating up a lot, and our defense kind of was slacking. They were getting a lot of foul calls, but it was definitely good overall. We started the game off with a lot of steals, a lot of, just great defensive effort, and we ended the game like that as well. Big task at hand said, "We will not be denied. No refs or any punk team is going to stop us." I know the refs couldn't even stop us. It kind of just looked like they were trying to hand the Kings the game, honestly, with the BS calls that they were making. I really couldn't believe it. I mean, literally at the end there, a few minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, Brunson got called for like an offensive foul or something, and it was so quick. They didn't even show the replay, so I didn't get that one, and there were so many others I didn't get at all. Earlier in the game when Bogdanovic was trying to get open, he was trying to cut. They called him for an offensive foul on that as well. So many BS calls I did not like tonight. Sports betting said Knicks made me money tonight. I'm glad to hear they made you some money. I mean it's always a good night if you made some money with your sports betting. Let's see, Curvin Nash said beating a healthy Sac at home and keeping them under 100 with 2 other players in double figures. Let's go. Yeah, completely. I mean, don't underestimate the Sacramento Kings. They're a good team. Their record is very close to ours. We just won our 40th, but they're at 38 wins as well. And they're a really good team, as clearly they have some really good players with Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, and Monk right there. I mean, Monk has been really a spark for them the past few games. I believe like the last 10, he's averaging 17 points per game. Let's see what he ended up with tonight. He ended up with 18. So yeah, it was a little hard to contain him, but we took the win at the end there. So, and you're also right, keeping them under 100 points, that's tough. That's tough because they do have a few weapons, and what I researched before going into this game is that they were averaging 127 points, I believe, in their last 5 games. Before tonight's loss, they won 4 of the last 5. So in those 4 of the last 5, I believe they were putting up 127 points per game. And tonight we held them to just 91. It says something about our defense. It really does. And just having OG back, I really think that his defensive impact is huge and that it's contagious. his presence is contagious. Everyone is stepping up on the defensive end. You're seeing everyone be involved now. I love it. Dope Vegan said the big Ragu. Can't forget the big Ragu. I mean, he stepped up as well. He ended the game with 15, and I think it's really honestly perfect. I'd say for him to end games with 15 points. I think that's just right about them what we need. 15 points. He was 5 for 16 from the field, 3 for 12 from the 3-point line. So he definitely struggles from the 3-point line. 3 for 12, not that great, but still he hit some shots for us, and he had 2 assists, 2 rebounds. I think it was a really solid game by him. This is what we should expect him to be putting up, like about 15 points. Dope also said OG took it easy tonight. Yeah, let's see, how many minutes did he play? He played 33 minutes, so it's not the most minutes that someone played tonight. The most minutes someone played was Josh Hart, who played 39. It's funny because he said when OG came back, or when OG was coming back, that his minutes were going to be lowered. That's not entirely the case, because OG still, you're right, has to take it easy. He wasn't, he was questionable for this game tonight. I believe they put him as questionable, and that if he felt right, he was going to play the game. So he should be taking it easy. He is coming back from surgery. He's got to take it one day at a time, and it's hard to get back into conditioning like that. But you're right. He definitely took it easy. King Joe said, Millie, how old are you? I am 20 years old. Royal said, how is Jalen not top 3 in MVP race? I honestly don't know. I don't know why he's not being involved in the MVP conversations. The main people I'm seeing are Luka, SGA. Let's see. I mean, Joker, of course, but I have not seen Jalen involved in any of those conversations, even though he's pretty much leading the league up there in points per game. And I'm not sure about assists. I believe he's not leading the league in like top 10 in assists, but still, he's playing like an absolute MVP, just a star for us. Back-to-back 40-point games is huge, and he made Knick history tonight. He's really a shining star. That's as what I could put it. The work he's been putting in is showing right now. Again, I don't think really anyone expected him to do as well as he's doing when we signed him. Just a few years ago. So he's exceeded everybody's expectations, and it feels so great to finally have a Knicks point guard. We haven't had a point guard for how long? For so many years. We went through trials, we went through players that were fake point guards, players that just were not great. And we finally do have our starting point guard, who is the leader of this team, and he's putting this team on his back. He's carrying us through all the injuries. He's doing the best he can, and it showed tonight. Knicks really said the defense was great down the stretch. It really was. I'm loving the defense that I've been seeing the past few games, especially those games that we were able to hold teams to under 80 points or 80 points exact. I love that right there. It really says something about our defense. I have to check the stats and everything, the net rating, to see where we're at, but we have to be up there as one of the best defenses right now. Michael said Sabonis 0 points in the fourth and no triple-double. Yeah, he did have a triple-double, I believe. I was just looking at it. Let's see. He had 14 rebounds. Oh, he didn't. Oh, I was looking at the wrong column for some reason. I was looking at defensive rebounds and rebounds. Yeah, he just had a double-double. So 14 rebounds, 21 points. I believe he usually gets 10 plus assists, but yeah, only 2 tonight. So we were able to stop the Mr. Triple-double machine. You got to take that as a win. And 0 points in the fourth quarter. Again, that says something about our defense. It says that we're up there as one of the top defenses. Let's see. Dominican Poppy said, let's go Knicks. 100%. I can't believe y'all are still up right now. I mean, I know for everyone on the East Coast and specifically New York, it's 1 a.m. right now. So big props to y'all for staying up this late and supporting your team. Real fans out there. Knicks Realist said, yeah, Monk is awesome. He might win Sixth Man of the Year. He might. I mean, he's been playing great, honestly. Before this game tonight, I was doing a little research about him and how he's been playing recently, and 17 points per game at the last 10. And, tonight was the same thing, 18 points overall. And, coming off of the bench, that's huge right there for them, for the Kings, for him to be doing that. A really deadly weapon they have off the bench. Grant said, this is amazing. And I have to highlight this comment right here. Knicks Realist said, Burks and Bogey, shout out to them in the fourth. And I really want to speak on this because I think that, obviously the headlines will be about Jalen Brunson making history, Knicks history, and then back-to-back 40-point games. But I want to point out that Burks and Bogey were honestly huge for us in that fourth quarter. I know that Bogdanovic was playing pretty awful the entire game, but in that fourth quarter, I believe they both combined for 12 points together. In the beginning stretch, when most of the starters are on the bench, and it's our bench in there, including Burks and Bogdanovic. And it was questionable. I really thought that with that lineup going, with that bench lineup, that the Kings would have gone on a run and we would have lost our lead. But that did not happen. Burks and Bogdanovic held it down. Again, I believe Burks scored 5 points in that fourth quarter and Bogey had 7. Those were huge points to keep us, to keep our lead going, and to stop the Kings from coming back. I really love to see when a bench can hold it down for the starters and keep a team in the game. So that's exactly what they did. And I'm just super happy that we were able to see, we were able to get a little preview of what our bench would actually look like. Not forcing Bogdanovic and Burks to be our star players and to play those big crunch time minutes. They're playing the beginning of the fourth quarter where it was a few minutes where they needed to just stay in the game and produce. And that's exactly what they did. They finally got some buckets. Grant said, do you love the defense? I absolutely do. Absolutely. Nothing I love more than defense. I love offense, 100% love the back-to-back 40-point games, but there's nothing like holding a team below 100 points or even 80 points. We did a few times last week. And Grant said, I love the defense. Well, yeah, agreed. Sports Betting said Knicks are playing excellent defense. Yep. JC said, good when we still need a backup point guard. Once Brunson is on the bench, the second unit is stagnant. Yeah, I definitely saw that as well. And I pointed out that McBride is not really much of a point guard to me. I don't really see him as a point guard. I see him more of as a shooting guard. And I don't really think he can run the ball. I don't think he can run the offense that well. It got stagnant, and there was a few possessions where we couldn't get a quality shot off, or even that one possession where McBride, let the shot clock go all the way down to 0 and it buzzed. So we do have Shake Milton, I believe, who isn't exactly a point guard either. I believe he's a combo guard, but mostly a shooting guard. So once again, that would just be Deuce McBride right there. So you're right. We probably need a true backup point guard. But for those, let's see, how many minutes did Deuce play tonight? Deuce played 12 minutes. So again, like for those 10, 12 minutes, I don't think it's like a big deal right now. I know it was hard to see the offense stagnant, but then again, Burks got going and Bogdanovic got going in those few minutes. So I don't think it's that big of a problem because we know that down the stretch, come playoff time, Brunson is going to be playing majority of the game. The backup point guard, Deuce, is probably going to be only getting about 10 minutes per game. Hit Him Up said, I'm a little worried. OG only had 2 points. RJ would have had at least, he would have at least had 4. I don't even know what to say about this comment because we know OG. We know that we know what OG can do, especially in the defensive end and the offensive end. Don't act like we haven't seen games where he's produced on the offensive end. 2 points tonight. Look, he's coming back from an injury. He's coming back from a surgery. It shouldn't be crazy that he is struggling from the field, struggling from the three-point line. Look at Julius Randle when he came back from ankle surgery. The first 10, 15 games of this season were awful. Julius Randle's shooting percentages were completely awful. And we all had that thought. Was he going to get better? I think we should have the same thought about OG. You know, I know 2 points and 1 for 8 from the field, 0 for 4 from the three-point line doesn't look great, but have a little patience. He's going to come back stronger. Hit him up also said, Mill, who you got, Brunson or Melo? That's tough because that's Melo's like one of my favorite, if not my favorite Knick from the past, and Brunson's my favorite Knick right now. So I don't want to pin them up against each other because Melo's who I grew up with, who made me fall in love with the Knicks and fall in love with basketball. But Brunson right now, what he's doing is it's insane, and I'm so excited for Brunson to be on this team for the next few years and just to see where he takes us. Salute, good win. Yes, thank you for tuning in. That was a really great win. Can't believe y'all are still up right now. Knicks really said probably Burks' best game with the Knicks this season. It probably was. And, you know, for most of those points to come in the fourth quarter, that was huge right there. Those clutch points that we know Burks can do. We've seen him be that clutch Burks in the fourth quarter before. We just haven't really seen it this season. So, you know, putting up 5 or 7 in the fourth quarter, those were big points right there for him. And I'm glad that he actually had a good game for once, because it's hard when you consistently keep having just awful games. Like, I don't know, ever since he became a Knick, he's pretty much had an awful game every single time besides tonight. So hopefully tonight's game could give him more confidence. Kervin Nash said, I know we pointed out Sabonis being put directly in jail in the fourth, but he also only scored 3 in the third. Yeah, I heard them mention that on the broadcast. So that's 3 points in the second half, and that's pretty insane what our defense has been able to do. Sabonis is not an easy guy to guard, not an easy guy to contain. If you guys don't know, he's leading the triple doubles in the NBA this season. He didn't get one tonight, so to be able to contain him, that's a huge win right there. And that's pretty much the key to the game right there. The key to winning was to be able to contain Sabonis, and that's what they did. Put him in jail in the second half. Grant said Bogey and Burks learning the system better and getting used to physical play. To play with Tibbs, you got to get used to that physical basketball. Yeah. Bogdanovich was having a really awful shooting night before the fourth quarter, and it was just really hard to see. I mean, he was 1 for 6 from I believe the field or the 3-point line, and once he finally got some shots going, I was really happy. You know, I think Bogdanovich is the type of player that we need to kind of set up. I would prefer we set up the 3-pointer for him. He's a good 3-pointer, good 3-point shooter. Burks, on the other hand, like, we know he's streaky, and, you know, he likes to shoot off the dribble, do a little move, something like that. So I think they took some good shots tonight in the fourth quarter, at least. Not in the Burks had a good game, you know, even before the fourth quarter, but Bogdanovich was struggling. Hit him up said 40 wins. Do you think we can reach 50? Oh yeah, I didn't even mention, but tonight was our 40th win, so, you know, big congrats to everyone on the Knicks team. They made it to 40. It's a huge accomplishment, honestly. Do I think we can make it to 50? I do think we can. I think there's about 16 games left in the season, 15 or 16. I think it's possible we can make it to 50, and I'm hoping we do. I'm really hoping we do, and I'm hoping Randle can come back in those last 16 games before we hit 50. Cully said Deuce isn't ready yet. He may be better off ball. Yeah, I think that's something a lot of fans have noticed ever since he's become a Knick. Even last year, a lot of people pointed it out. he's not really a true point guard at all. And I don't really think he can facilitate an offense or set it up properly. So I would prefer someone else, a true backup point guard. But we don't really have that right now. We don't have that. So we'll deal with what we got. And I still like Deuce as a player. He's a great defensive player, and his shooting has improved a lot this season. So I still really like him as a player. I don't think we should put him as PG, but I mean, we have no other choice if Brunson's sitting too. Let's see. Cully also said OG will be great by next month. Exactly. Just give him some time. I know. I just hope a lot of fans don't go down on him tonight for only having 2 points. We still got the win. There's no need to go down on him when you get the win. And also, he's coming back from surgery, literally probably his 3rd or 4th game back. Cut him some slack. Grant said Melo is a Knick forever. We always love Melo in the Garden. Yeah, Melo's a Knick forever. I honestly wish he could have retired as a Knick before he retired. Gideon said, salute to you. Thank you for tuning in. He said Bogey and Burks finally busted out. Finally, they had a good game, and we didn't need them to play the crunch time minutes, the last 5 minutes of the game where we needed them to hit the big shots, it was different. It was the first 5 minutes of the fourth quarter where we needed them to let the starters rest and to just play basketball, and that's exactly what they did, and they were able to produce 12 points combined, Burks and Bogdanovic in that fourth quarter. I believe it was somewhere around 12. Last I counted, they mentioned it was 5-5 for each of them, and then Bogey scored a layup, so 12 right there. And he also said Kings got smashed by the Brunson burner. Yep, completely. 42 points tonight. Very, very impressive considering he only attempted 4 free throws and made 3. It was just elite shooting tonight from Brunson. Teresa said, it's amazing the player Jalen has become. We are truly so lucky to have him. We are very lucky. We're very lucky that the Mavericks passed up on him, specifically Mark Cuban, who said he was going to pay him whatever he wants, and then there was crickets, and he didn't pay him or offer anything. So thank you, Mark Cuban, for passing up on Jalen Brunson and letting him come to New York. Grant said, what's going on with Emmanuel Quigley? Do you think Toronto ruining him? I think Toronto trying to turn him into rookie development player and holding him back. To be honest with you, Grant, I have not been paying attention to I haven't been paying much attention to the Raptors or to see how Quigley or RJ have been doing. I've seen a few player graphics that RJ's been doing really well, better than he was as a Knick. I believe he's averaging 20 points per game, and his efficiency is up. His shooting percentages is up, so good for them. I'm not really sure what's going on with Quigley though. Nick's really said Mark Cuban was on Shark Tank but let Brunson go. I'm not surprised that he let Brunson go because I'm sure there's a lot of people he let go on Shark Tank or didn't offer anything on, and they ended up becoming successful. I'm sure there's a few stories out there that's happened with. So, if he didn't think it was worth investing in Brunson, that's on him. But, now he's a New York Knick and he's one of the stars of this league. But let's see. If I need to shout out anyone else from the game tonight. We spoke about OG, how he struggled. Hardenstein, really, really great game from him tonight. 7 points, 4 blocks, 14 rebounds. That's like a classic Hardenstein game right there. Brunson, he's the player of the game. 42 points, and it's a back-to-back 40-point game. The last one was in Portland. He had 45. That's crazy. Josh Hart, shout out Josh Hart again. Every game, he just continues to outmuscle everyone. And once again, he grabbed 10 plus rebounds tonight. Tonight he had 13. He ended up with 9 points and 1 steal along with 3 assists. So really solid game by Hart. It still amazes me how he's able to grab those rebounds. I don't know how he predicts exactly where the rebounds, or I mean where the ball is going to go, but he predicts it so well. And he's just out hustling everyone to get to it. DiVincenzo we spoke about, solid game with 15 points. He did struggle from the field and the 3-point line though. Now moving on to the bench, Precious, he only had 2 points tonight in 20 minutes. Didn't take many shots though. He only attempted 2 shots. Bogdanovich and Burks, we spoke about them already. It was a huge fourth quarter for them. And, I would say this is the first time we've seen them both be solid and help contribute to a win. Both of them. There's been games, someone commented before, this isn't the first time Bogdanovich has had a good game for us. You're completely right. Bogdanovich has had other good games as well, but this is the first time I believe they've both had good games for us at the same time. And McBride in 12 minutes didn't score. So, yeah, that's pretty much everyone right there from the team, how they played tonight. Let's see. Hit him up said, looks like it's going to be a first-round matchup with Orlando. Oh, yeah, I actually want to check the standings really quick because I haven't checked it in a minute. So we are still in the 4th seed, and the Magic are number 5. So yeah, if the season was over today and the playoffs started, we would be facing the Magic in the first round. And I think that would be a crazy series because you guys know how many Knicks fans are down there in Orlando. It's insane. I would say a good majority of people in Florida are actually from New York. So I think New York would represent in that series. But I do think we still can chase the 3rd seed. I think it's possible. We're only 2 games back. And I believe Cavs have some tough games coming up. I have to double check on that. I was looking at their schedule the other day. If they keep winning, then yeah, it'll be tough to chase the 3rd seed. But I think it might be possible being only 2 games back. Knicks realist said Donte hasn't been efficient from 3 lately. The last few games, hopefully he heats up. Yeah, he's definitely been struggling. And other nights it's hurt the Knicks, but tonight we got the win, so it didn't matter too much. But still, I hope he heats up again as well. I just remember that stretch of, earlier in the season, about a month or 2 ago, where he was shooting lights out and, scoring 20. I wouldn't say like 20 every game, but like every other game, he was having huge games. And from the 3-point line, shooting, phenomenal. Grant said, I honestly want to play Orlando or Philly in the first round. I do not want to see Indiana or Miami. Yeah, we kind of want to steer around Miami just because I think everyone sort of underestimates Miami and is a little bit scared of them because of what they did last year and how they were just able to pretty much get by everyone to get to the to get to the finals. So Miami is kind of a team we want to avoid. But Philly, we'd 100% take if Joel Embiid is still out. I'm pretty sure he's probably done for the season. I haven't seen any updates on him, but the 76ers have been losing a lot of games without them. I mean, let's see where they are in the standings now. They're number 7, and earlier in the season they were number 3, so they're really struggling without Embiid. I would definitely like Philly, but I don't know how that would be possible because, right now we're number 4, and I honestly see us sticking at number 4 or making that jump to number 3. I don't see us dropping down, especially if we get Randall back. I think that only helps us. Grant also added Indiana or Miami in first round playoffs is a no for me. I want Orlando or Philly. I'd rather be 4th seed and play Orlando or 3rd seed and play Philly if they get 6th. Yeah, so that's a big what if though, if they get 6, because Pacers right now are 6, and it's hard to really tell because it's so close, in those parts of the standings. They're almost tied. I mean, Pacers have 30 losses and the 76ers have 30 as well, so it's close. It could be either one that happens to be the 6th seed and in that matchup. But yeah, I would I know we're 1-3 against Orlando this season. The last time we beat Orlando was a beatdown though. We really beat them down, blew them out. I believe we won by like over 20 or 30 points. And that was a game without Randall or OG. So I do think we can take Orlando, Philly as well. I think we could take Indiana too. I think you mentioned that before in another comment. The only team I'm just really concerned about is the Celtics, of course. Number one in the East, and we have to game plan. The Knicks have to game plan a way to compete against them. If it comes to the point where we play against them, in the Eastern Conference Finals, depending on the seeding. Mario said 50 wins, here we come. I really hope we can hit it. I would love to hit that milestone. I believe we have around 15 to 17 games left. I have to double check. But I think we can hit it. I really do. And I think if Randall comes back as well, let's say in the next, let's say at the end of March, I think it could be a possibility. It'd be nice too because this Knicks team has been so good, especially after we got OG. It just sucks that we went through so many injuries that we couldn't continue to win because I mean we were what was it 14-2 and 13-2 in that the month of January. That was insane. That was really insane. We wondered what we could do in February, and then everything just went downhill with the injuries. We would be really close if those injuries never happened. We'd be close to 50. Grant said Indiana taking us to Game 7. I would avoid that matchup if we can. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Indiana had a lot of momentum in the beginning of the season, and then, they had that in-season tournament whole thing. But they've kind of calmed down a little bit. They're the 6th seed in the East, and Tyrese Haliburton has also calmed down a little bit. I don't think he's been playing as well as he did in the beginning of the season. He's still putting up the assists, but every time I see a graphic of his stats, it's he's not scoring a lot of points that much anymore. Jay Boogie said, shout out to the family, blessings, health, happiness. Please hit that like button. We are a league problem. Salute. Appreciate you, Jay Boogie. Yeah, if everyone could hit that like button, that would be great because hitting the like button, it gets the video out to more people. And if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. Head over to the YouTube channel so you can subscribe. Mario said, shout out to you holding this space being so late in the night. Yeah, it's 1:30 a.m. in New York, and I'm definitely going to wrap it up soon so we can all go to sleep because I know it was a great win. We have the adrenaline in us right now to keep talking about the Knicks and to be very excited, but sleep's important, guys. The Knicks realist said, yeah, Halliburton is only averaging like 16 minutes per game since the All-Star break. Oh wow. Is that because of his injury that he was dealing with before? Oh, 16 points per game. Got you. I thought you were talking about minutes, but yeah, every time I don't keep up with him too much, but every time I see a graphic or his stat line, it's always under 20 points for him recently. So, I mean, don't underestimate. I wouldn't underestimate the Pacers. Don't underestimate any team. But still, I think we could take them on in a playoff series and win. Oh, and Grant said, remember they got Siakam now. That's true. They do have Siakam. So, another weapon to watch out for. For a second, I did forget they have Siakam, but that's big. So the next game that the Knicks play, let's see. I know it's against Golden State. Has to be Tuesday, I'm guessing. Oh, it's tomorrow. Back to back for them, and back to back for us. So tomorrow the Knicks play, and so Monday. Okay, yeah, Monday. Monday they play. Sorry, the timing's confusing me right now because it just turned It just turned like Sunday, so now I'm thinking, oh, it's today because it says today. But no, it's actually tomorrow. So the Knicks play the Warriors tomorrow, Monday at Golden State at 10 p.m. Another 10 p.m. game, so it's going to be late. I know. I don't know if anyone's going to watch that one just because it's a Monday night at 10 p.m. A lot of people have to get to sleep. Kenny said Monday Knicks Warriors. Yeah. Let me know if you guys are staying up for that one. I might stay up for the first 3 quarters. You know what? I'm probably going to stay up the entire game. Depending on how it is, too. If it's like, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. But if it happens to be a blowout on either side, yeah, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to do some research, too, how the Warriors have been doing the last 10 games. I think that should be a win. I say the Knicks take that win. Grant said, I bet sometime I do want to go in second round playing Milwaukee rather than Boston. Yeah, if we can avoid Boston until the final round, Eastern Conference Finals, I think that would be ideal. We play the Celtics, I believe. The next time we play the Celtics is in April. And that game is going to be a huge test because we have not seen a healthy Knicks team against the Celtics or this team against the Celtics. The first few times was with RJ and IQ. We have not seen this Knicks team against the Celtics. So I'm curious on how we do, if we can actually compete against them. So everyone look out for that game in April when we play the Celtics again. Let's see. The Knicks realist said, I want to forget about the last time we played the Warriors. Yeah, me too. I think I already forgot about it just because I try to forget about the losses. Kenny said, man, I'm going to be sleepy the next day, but I'm going to stay up. Dedication right there. I love the dedication from our Knicks fandom. We have a lot of people that are very dedicated to this team. And, I'll leave this with the last comment of the night. Kenny also said that Eastern Conference Finals would be epic. Knicks Celtics. I think it would be so epic and insane. I mean, both gardens, TD Garden, Madison Square Garden, it would be insane. The Boston Celtics have a very, very large fan base and very prideful fan base, just as the Knicks. So fans would go at each other in that series. I just have to wonder if we're ready for it. And hopefully when that time comes, we'll have a healthy Knicks roster. But without further ado, I will begin to close up. And before I end it, if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe to the Big Knick Energy YouTube channel. We're still on the road to 2,500 subs. We're almost there. And check out the Big Knick Energy merch shop if you haven't already. Great merch on there. Merch for pretty much every player. Go get some merch of your favorite player. And thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight. I know it was super late. I pretty much started this at like 1 a.m. So for anyone who tuned in, thank you. If you're watching the replay, hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good night. Guys.